Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding the most complex, resilient, and literally the most bizarre phenomenon in the known universe, life itself. We are definitely moving way past basic textbook definitions to really uncover the astonishing mechanics of exactly how biological systems operate, scale, and survive. Let's get right into it.
So, what actually connects a microscopic bacteria to a giant blue whale? I mean, it's a fascinating question of scale, right? On one hand, you've got a single-celled organism, completely invisible to the naked eye. On the other, a massive marine mammal the size of a submarine just cruising through the deep ocean. They live in totally different environments and have radically different lifespans. But despite these extreme differences, they share a profound, fundamental connection. They both read their genetic instructions using the exact same four-letter chemical alphabet, DNA. That shared biological language proves a common origin. And honestly, it's exactly the kind of incredible connection we're going to be decoding today.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll ask, what is life? Then we'll look at the rules of being alive, followed by the branches of biology. After that, we'll scale up from building blocks to biosphere. And finally, wrap up with why biology matters.
All right, part one, what is life? The origins and scope of biology.
You probably know the word biology comes from two ancient Greek words, bios meaning life and logos meaning study. But just calling it the study of living things kind of barely scratches the surface. What we're really talking about here is the study of highly complex, self-replicating chemical machines. It's this comprehensive look at how these intricate networks are structured, how they process fuel, how they adapt to brutal environments, and how they evolve over millions of years. It's not just observing nature. It is literally the ultimate reverse engineering of the most sophisticated tech on Earth.
Moving on to section 2, the rules of being alive. Let's look at the shared features of all living things. You know, the universe naturally tends toward chaos. It's a physics concept called entropy. But life is this amazing localized rebellion against that chaos. To be considered alive, an organism relentlessly fights to maintain order, and it does that by following a strict checklist. First, it's got to be contained within one or more cells. It must grow and develop. It absolutely has to reproduce, basically passing on its blueprints to outlast its own physical hardware. It has to respond to environmental stimuli. To do all of that, it needs a constant input of energy, and over immense spans of time, it must adapt and evolve. Literally every living thing, from a tiny fungus deep underground to humans building megacities, is locked in this exact same magnificent struggle against entropy. And right at the heart of that struggle is a concept called homeostasis. This is an absolutely critical rule of being alive. Homeostasis is basically an organism's ability to maintain a stable internal environment, even when there's absolute chaos happening on the outside. To put that in everyday terms, think about going for a run on a scorching summer day. Your core temperature starts to spike, which is chemically super dangerous. So what happens? Your body kicks off a cooling protocol. You sweat. The evaporation pulls heat away, keeping your internal temp in a safe, narrow little window. But here is the really cool part. Homeostasis is not some passive state of rest. It is an active, relentless, and incredibly energy-intensive battle. It's like a biological engine constantly revving just to keep you standing perfectly still internally. Okay, section 3, the branches of biology, or how we actually study the living world. Because biology is so incredibly vast, we have to divide it up into specialized domains. But the real magic happens when you see how they all connect into one continuous narrative. It's kind of like a domino effect of scientific disciplines. The microscopic code we study in genetics, well, that ultimately dictates the physical structure we look at in anatomy and physiology. That internal architecture then determines how a plant functions over in botany. The nutritional value of that plant directly impacts the herbivores we study in zoology. And finally, the complex, messy interplay of all those animals, plants, and microorganisms together, that's what we study in ecology. So no single branch exists in a vacuum. They're really all just different focal lengths on the exact same camera lens. Section 4, building blocks to biosphere. We're looking at the scale of biological organization. As we scale up from the microscopic to the macroscopic, we run into one of the most thrilling concepts in all of science, emergence. Emergent properties basically mean the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. At the very foundation, we have the cell. But when cells group together into tissues and organs, they suddenly have abilities a single cell could never pull off. Like a heart can pump blood, a brain can generate a thought. Those organs form organ systems, which then create a fully functioning organism. Group a bunch of those organisms together, you get a population. Interacting populations build a community. Add in the physical, non-living environment, and boom, an ecosystem emerges, entirely capable of self-regulation. Stack all of those ecosystems together and you finally reach the biosphere. At every single step up this ladder, entirely new rules and properties emerge that just did not exist at the level below it. It's wild. And finally, Section 5. Why biology matters. The real-world impact of biological science.
Understanding these complex systems isn't just some academic exercise. It's honestly the ultimate tool for human progress. By decoding biology, we've radically altered our trajectory as a species. Take healthcare, for example. Just under a century ago, a simple scratch could be a death sentence from infection. Then, biologists noticed this specific mold, penicillium, naturally killing off bacteria. That one single observation revolutionized medicine and saved hundreds of millions of lives. Today, we use biology to enhance agricultural productivity so we can feed billions of people, and we are literally editing the code of life using CRISPR technology to cure genetic diseases. Every massive leap forward in our health, our food supply, and our future survival is rooted entirely in our mastery of biological science.
So, biology is the fundamental science of our existence. It plays a totally vital role in improving human life, protecting nature, and advancing scientific knowledge. But, perhaps its absolute greatest value is the profound shift in perspective it gives us. It forces us to realize that we aren't simply observers standing outside of nature looking in. We are highly complex, deeply integrated nodes operating completely within it. Knowing everything we've just covered, our shared DNA with a whale, the relentless fight against entropy, the incredible emergent properties of ecosystems, we arrive at a pretty fascinating crossroads. As a part of this vast, interconnected biosphere, what is your role in the web of life? It's definitely something to seriously consider the next time you step outside and just take a breath. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring the amazing living world around you.